Thank you for tuning in to the thenolaroexperien podcast. Raw, honest, relatable conversations that help us grow. Be sure to follow us on all social platforms at the thenolaroexperien podcast and watch and listen to your favorite TNREP episodes on your favorite podcast platform.
On today's episode, I am having a profound conversation with J.C Brillant, entrepreneur and fashion designer. Did you know? I have a question, the SOA Q&A, and of course, today's happy habit. Welcome. So, first of all, I haven't known you forever.
Right.
But I am just learning that you reversed type 2 diabetes.
Yes, I did. Yeah, that's a long story. You want me to get right into it, but yes, I definitely just reversed it recently.
Recently,
yes. I got my diagnosis the Friday after I ran the New York City half. So whatever date that was, I can think the 20th. Yeah.
The 20th of what?
March.
Okay,
Yeah. And I was diagnosed January 4th, 2020. That I know. It was wild because my normal eating habits were bad back then. And I had a bacon, egg, and cheese right before going. They checked my blood, and they were like, yo, how are you standing? I'm like, what? I'm chilling. They're like, your blood sugar is like through the roof. I think I was like 400, which is insane. So if I'm saying this, and people that
400
know.
what?
400, whatever, I don't know. But the blood sugar level was at 400.
Okay.
You're supposed to be, a normal person is supposed to be under 137 or 135. I was at 400.
Okay. Living la vida loca.
Yeah, so that's why the doctors went crazy. Like, what do you, like, how are you even standing?
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm chilling. But, so, and it's funny, it took me 5 years to get rid of it. I wasn't taking it as serious, even when it happened. You know what I mean? Like, but I was getting a whole lot of symptoms. They put me on medication that I didn't like. There was stuff that I didn't like that I was like, nah, I can't do that.
So were you not having these symptoms before the doctor's visit?
So a long time, when I say long time ago, 2011, 2012-ish, when I was playing semi-pro football, and I was having like some kind of, I was probably in my second or third year of playing, and I was having like these tingling sensations in my hand. That might have been a symptom.
Okay.
I believe it was. It was hand and feet, actually. And I saw the doctor, and that was the first time he said I was pre-diabetic.
Okay.
That's not diabetic, but it's pre-diabetic. Okay. There's a lot of people that walk around with
pre-diabetes. So you're like, I got space. I got room.
And the words were eat better, work out. I'm like, I work out a lot, so I'm like, I'm good. Yeah. But I was still heavy. Like, you know what I mean? I was over 300. You know, actually during football I was 290, but whatever. I was still over 300.
How tall are you?
6'4".
So for your height, I don't know what 290 on a 6'4" frame.
It's still big.
Okay.
It's still big. Like, because when I was 315, I was humongous.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, didn't realize it though. I didn't realize it.
You really don't know until you look back at pictures,
until you look
right?
back. Yeah. I didn't realize it. I mean, the only thing that I realized was my clothes, right? Like I made clothes, I had to make clothes that actually fit
like
me,
the
right?
sizes are changing.
Yeah. So, but other than that, as far as like body wise and everything, I was fit, but I was big. And as you know, I've run now. Training for this year's marathon, and even though I've been like the current medication I'm on now is Mounjaro, which is like a lot of people take it for like to lose weight, and it's funny. I've had this conversation with my wife. I'm like, it technically only takes off 12 pounds. Like that's it. Like you can go a little bit more, but it's like 12 pounds, 12 to 20 max, right?
Okay.
That's if you do nothing.
Okay.
But they always say exercise and diet, and I probably dropped like 12, right?
Okay.
Working out, normal, but it was that was it. It was like I
Okay.
dropped and that's it.
Plateau.
But, also, my blood sugar level went down. I didn't come out, but it went down. I was like,
Okay.
I'm good. They took me off the Ozempic. I was off for like a year. And then I had another episode. And then a month before that episode, when I say episode, like I got sick, like just like my eyesight kind of went out.
Okay.
This is why I wear glasses a lot. My eyesight kind of went, like the week that it went out, everything was like if I'm right here talking to you, blurry.
Okay.
for like a week. Like I was like, oh my God.
So all of your frames are prescription?
All of them. Yeah, all
Okay.
but one. All my
Okay.
running glasses that I just, whatever. But anyway, all but one is all prescription.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's go back. Let's
Yep.
go back. Okay, so we just learned a lot. You went to the doctor for a regular checkup.
Yeah, that first time. Yep. It was an annual checkup. Yep.
You had no idea
No.
what was coming.
Not at all. And like I said, the symptoms that I had then, I didn't know what it was.
Right.
Right. So, like, for example, one of the major symptoms I used to have, I go to the gym in the morning, and I usually don't eat before I go to the gym. I used to have, like, these shakes, like, faint shakes. I may throw up or something like that. I'm thinking that's just me working out. You know, people throw up when they work out.
I've gotten nauseated working out too hard. Yeah.
So I'm thinking, it didn't happen often, but when it happened, it happened.
Yeah.
I thought it was nothing. My main doctor, but the doctor specifically for, I don't know what they call it. I don't know.
The specialist.
The specialist for that, she was like, that is diabetes. I was like, oh, I didn't know.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I was having symptoms I didn't know,
Okay.
right? But then, like I said, when I got diagnosed, my thing was through the roof. Now I'm starting to pay attention. And then fast forward, the running, the Manjano, yes, but the running shredded everything at that point. And that's what helped reverse it, right? Because obviously the exercise, obviously the diet, and obviously the Manjano.
Okay.
But the running, like, and I told you earlier, the run club I run for, it's called Run for Your Life.
Okay.
Insane. Like crazy. I run for a club called Run for Your Life, and I'm literally running for my life. And it saved me. Like now, my last doctor visit, they told me, nope, you're done. You're out of it completely. Just stay there, but you're out of it completely.
Okay, so we're jumping to the end of the story.
Sure.
All right. You mentioned your wife.
Yep.
And you're a dad. Mm-hmm. And you have other places where you're wearing different hats, you're showing up.
Yeah.
Does this diagnosis affect your identity in any way? Like, does it affect you as a husband? Does it affect you as a father?
There was some moments. Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How
yeah.
so?
There was definitely some moments, especially as a husband. This is me getting vulnerable about this, but I had some moments where things just wasn't working out.
Okay.
and you know, it wasn't working out, and I wasn't talking about it. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So I was being avoidant.
Okay.
For quite some time.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, there was some conversations that came up, and I finally said what I said, and she was like, oh. And I was like, yeah.
You know what's crazy about vulnerability, which I feel very confident that you know at this point, right? What's crazy about vulnerability and transparency is we try so hard to not be vulnerable, not be transparent as maybe a protective mechanism. And it causes people to feel shut out. And a lot of times we don't realize that if you had said or done that at the very beginning,
Yeah.
this would have been a whole different outcome.
Situation.
Like, babe, this is what's happened.
Right.
And I trust and imagine that the reaction and the support would have been completely different from jump.
Yeah, absolutely. And my wife is extremely supportive, so you're right. If I would have just spoke up front and not being avoided and, you know, distant. But yeah, that was an issue. And then with the kids, one of the episodes I had was actually in between a trip. We were on a family trip. I forgot where we were. We were in Turks and Caicos, I believe, at a resort, all inclusive, drinking. You're not supposed to drink when you're on diabetes and taking medication. I'm drinking. There was one drink in particular that was very sweet. I'm drinking that. And then my older son had a basketball tournament right after in Vegas. So we had to come home and go there, right? So, but when I say episode, just like sick, not, you know, like I'm functional, but I'm just like not good. Like, you know what I mean?
You're not your best.
And I started not feeling good. I think while we were there, we were playing checkers, matter of fact. And she was like, you all right? I'm like, nah. I said, I'm not good. And then I remember coming home and...
So what is that feeling when you're not good? Are you lightheaded? Are you...
No, it's a weird feeling, bro. It's a weird feeling. It's...
Fatigue?
Definitely fatigue. a tingling feeling inside your entire body.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine like glass is trying to come out of your body.
So like prickly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Out of your entire body.
Wow.
Head to toe.
Wow.
Ugh,
Okay.
disgusting. And the fatigueness too. That's the worst part.
Are you ashamed? Like at that time, are you ashamed? Are you angry? What are you? Because I feel like that's something. I don't want to put you in a box, but I feel like a lot of men, if you are a leader, if you are maybe the head of your household, if people are literally looking up to you, are you feeling small? Are you feeling ashamed? Angry? Like, what are those emotions?
Probably more angry than anything that I got myself into a situation, but not really realizing
Disappointed?
how. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and around that time too, my business was on fire, and I was doing very well with both my businesses actually, and like, you know, being a father, being a husband, all the things. So there's so much things that I was doing. So I'm still trying to just like move, you know. I probably at that time though didn't still really understand what I was going through, to be honest with you.
So anger is usually not the thing. It's like a symptom of the other things
Everything
that are
that's
happening.
making it happen,
So when I
yeah.
hear you say that you're disappointed, are you also feeling ashamed that I did this to myself and I have people to take care of? I have people who are relying and depending on me.
So not necessarily that part of it, mainly because I think I was going through the process of how did I get here. You know, I would think back like when I was like 6, eating Twinkies or whatever, drinking, you know, what we call red juice, basically fruit punch, but Kool-Aid, you know.
Red 40.
All of it, right? And you know I'm Haitian, so zira sauce bar, rice and beans, like just,
Yeah.
but too much of it. Not
Yeah.
that you can't eat it. You
Yeah.
can eat whatever you want,
Yeah.
but you know, I was very excessive with it, like a lot of
You're a
it.
foodie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but nah, it's still too much. I could be a foodie, like I'm a foodie now,
Yeah.
right? But I don't eat as much, you know.
Yeah, I get it.
My wife is complaining now because I don't eat as much as I used to,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Not crazy. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. But I used to eat a lot, just to eat. So there's a term. I was just talking to my barber about this earlier today. Now I eat to live. In the past, I used to live to eat. Right? It's a whole
Pleasure.
different. Yeah.
Pleasure.
You know, I used to eat just to
Yeah.
eat. Urgh.
Yeah.
Out of breath, still eating. But now I just eat to live.
Wow.
Yeah.
So no more burgers? You told me about
Yes,
your
burgers.
burgers with your secret seasoning.
Oh, my burgers are off the chain. You kidding me? My burgers are off the chain. Nah, what happened is I can still eat the burger, but I can't finish it. So I just cut it in half. I eat it. That's why, like, when I go out, I try to eat sliders. I've always tried to eat sliders. Even when I was a big guy, I just had maybe 6 or 7. But
Stomach,
now it's like 2 or 3.
Stomach
you
is
know.
smaller. Your stomach is smaller.
The stomach is definitely small. I lost about 85-ish. I lost about 85. I went
That's
from
incredible.
3X to technically a large, but my arms are long, so XL.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Are you...
I feel great.
I get criticized
Mm-hmm.
for how I express excitement and emotion and joy, and I'm looking at you and I'm like, oh, this is how it looks.
Right. 'Cause I'm
when
not
people
really-
are like, how do you feel?
Yeah. Nah, it's but listen, I'm still at the beginning stage of it, so like
Yeah, it's sinking in still.
that part. So like I had to buy a suit because I have no clothes. Like I used to have a whole bunch of suits.
Good
I got
problem.
0 suits. Like, you know,
Yeah.
so I had to go buy a suit, and I actually bought a suit at a size that was still too big.
Oh.
Only because I was nervous. Like, but
Imposter syndrome in your own body.
100%.
That's crazy.
100%.
But I love that for you though.
Thank you.
So I'm not gonna talk about our relationship.
Sure.
Like exactly how we connected. Only because I still don't know how to. We met because of a personal development program. I'll say that.
That's not how we met, but yes.
That's not how we met. We met networking.
Yes.
We met networking.
Yes.
And I interrupted your conversation, which I'll do. Like, you were talking to somebody and we were playing a game.
That. I remember
and I'm like, he's the only person in this room I haven't spoken to. But he's talking to somebody. How do I talk? And I just came into... But you were happy that I interrupted your conversation. Because later on you were like, I was happy because that conversation with that lady was crazy.
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry, lady.
Don't remember it, but yeah, I think so.
You can pretend like you don't remember it. But you don't want that lady to see that you didn't want to talk to her.
I don't remember, like...
He was done with the conversation, lady. But anyway, so let's skip over that. So we ended up connecting because of business, right? You wanted to use my space.
Correct.
And sitting in the space, doing the tour and talking about it, you're like, have you heard of this program? And I was like, no. So I ended up joining, not having a clue what the program was, but trusting you.
Appreciate that.
So that's truly how we got to know each other.
Yep.
And we said that we would have, like, when I hit certain milestones, we would meet up and talk about the milestone. But then there was a period where we went like a month and a half without talking at all. We didn't speak at all. Yes.
No, it was
because when I saw you again, I didn't recognize. I was like, what is this frame?
You know why we did video?
We did
video.
But the video didn't even, the video was like 2 minutes because you had an emergency.
Yes. You know what you're talking about?
You had a fire in your house. We were on Zoom.
Yeah.
And your house was on fire. But anyway, so when I saw you in person the next time, I was like,
who are you?
I didn't even know that you were on that it was crazy, but I can speak and say that you went through a phenomenal transformation. And I kept saying it. I'm like, you look good.
Yeah.
What? Anyway, so you went through so many different emotions. You had to have gone through so many different emotions because the world consistently and the healthcare world consistently tells people is if you have this dis-ease in your body, you have to live with it.
Yeah, unfortunately. But there were several people that told me they reversed it. And I held on to that.
Did your doctor tell you that?
Did my
No.
Probably not.
No.
Because they get paid off for the drugs.
No.
So probably not. I don't remember them saying that.
Doctor, you didn't tell him.
Dr. Knight, she's referring to you.
Your doctor did not tell you that. And
you know what she told me? You can die. That's what she told me. Straight up. I was like, huh?
But you could.
You could.
could.
So I lost a friend recently, too. One of my football buddies.
To diabetes?
Yes. Yeah, his shot up to 800. And he immediately had a heart attack or whatever, a stroke or whatever, and gone next day.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that happened not too long ago. And actually, that kicked up my whole situation. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of casual with it.
So that put fire under you.
Oh, my God.
So what did it look like? God. I know you started running, but what were you eating? I have to add that diabetes is not just what's happening on your plate. It's also what's happening with your stress levels.
Okay.
People don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Your stress level can either help or not help.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm imagining if this is not a conversation that you had, well, I'm guessing it's not a conversation that you had with your doctor. Your stress level will make everything a thousand times worse. And based on your face right now, you're probably stressed at that time. Not just what's happening with the diagnosis, but I know you like to work a lot. And you've expressed to me, like, I'm not going to sit down. I'm going to work. And sometimes it really helps to just sit down and not do all the things.
Right.
And not be responsible for all the things. So what was your lifestyle like at that time outside of the emotional stuff with the diagnosis? What were you doing?
At that time, like I said, my business picked up. So I was on fire.
That will do it.
Yeah, I was on fire with the business. I was up here. Like, really, everything was going really, even though, like, the pandemic hit like 4 days after my fashion show, it was still, it went a little slow because of the pandemic,
Yeah.
but it picked right back up. And so the IT side of business was on fire. The fashion side slowed down. But
So high functioning lifestyle,
yeah.
a lot of responsibilities, and this we still haven't talked about you having to show up as a husband, you having to show up as a dad.
Yeah.
This is not helping with healing because you're worrying and you're scared. What did that feel like?
A little tough, a little scary. And like I said, I know when I've had, a couple of those episodes, it definitely was nerve-wracking because all I'm
What are
seeing,
episodes? What is that?
again, when I get really sick.
Okay.
It's only happened, not much, but when it does happen, I'm like, oh my God. I get nervous though, I'm not gonna hold you. So
Okay,
like
anxious.
Like when that happens, I'm already thinking about like my funeral. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Like I remember what was that? The COVID-19. Bro, I saw my funeral when I had it. Like
you had COVID?
yeah, I had
Okay.
it like in the early parts. I forget what month, but maybe it wasn't that early, but early enough. Like
Okay.
early enough to the point where the TV was on and they were talking about putting bodies outside of the hospitals. Remember those times? Like it was just bodies everywhere. I'm listening to this. My back is on fire, and I'm like, but I'm like literally seeing my funeral
Your back is on fire?
at the time. Yeah,
What does
that
that
was one of
mean?
the symptoms. You probably didn't have it, but that was one of the symptoms.
Oh, one of the COVID symptoms?
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I've got COVID or not. But
Okay.
that's a whole other
Yeah,
episode.
thank God. I don't wish that on my. That thing is the worst. Oh my God, and it's even worse if you have diabetes. So
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I learned as well. That could even like ramp up
yeah,
the
yeah,
fear.
100%.
And-
and then like you said, the mental, right? So I was like not good.
So the fact that you are in a whole other body space,
Sure.
it means that you transformed. And I don't think that you can transform physically without having mental transformation.
Oh yeah. Now
So you had to switch mindset somehow, somewhere. What does a mindset shift even look like? I think it's so important for people to know. And let me just say this. The purpose of this podcast is not just we're not here to really entertain people. If you're entertained, that's awesome. But I like to talk about experiences that we typically feel like, oh, this is the end. It's over.
Yeah.
But it's not true. You can become an alchemist and you can use your pain, you can use your struggles, you can use the things that challenge you and turn them into ways of growing. So for me to see you physically have a transformation, it means you had a mindset transformation, and people have to know that your mindset has to have some level of shifting
yeah.
for you to shift your body. So what exactly, like, are you thinking differently? Are
Yes.
you making the decision to use different words? Like, what does your mindset shift look like?
Definitely positive words for sure. But the two key things is discipline and consistency. Those are the two key things for sure. Because, although I've been successful in business, and when I think back about the success, what were the two key things? Discipline and consistency, right? So if I transfer that into my personal life, right, but then also having to be consistent and disciplined about being a husband, being disciplined and consistent about being a parent. I need to fix that a little bit more, but and not that I'm doing bad with the parenthood but stuff, but I think you know how like when people grow old together. Let's say like my wife and I, we've been together a long time. I won't throw the years out there, but we've been together for a very long time. We're not the same person that we were when we first met, right? So it's the same thing with the kids. That's a whole different ballgame. They're late teens right now. And I have to personally shift to that age group, right? So, like, my wife is always checking me about that. Like, you got to talk to them about da-da-da-da-da. But, because they're not 3 and
You have
5
to
no
connect,
more.
yeah.
They're 17 and 19.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a whole different ballgame. So, the way they are now is different from even when they were 13 and 15.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's my shift. I gotta move up with them. So that's where when I say, the parenthood thing,
Yeah.
but it's whatever. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, those two things, discipline and consistency is my shift. As far as I think I've always been good with speaking positive. I'm better now though. I'm way better now with it, but it's funny, like I didn't even know I could be better because I've always tried for a very long time to speak positive into the universe. So yeah.
So you think the positivity helped?
Yes.
Can you give an example of one thing that you might be saying now? That I had that experience this morning where something came up that I knew would have bothered me in the past.
Yeah.
And today I'm just like, it is what it is. I'm good. Is there something specific that stands out to you that you know for sure there was a time when this was different and now I'm handling it in a completely positive way?
I mean, this is something extremely minor, but at the same time could have went left. Just this morning on my way here, there was some teenagers that jumped on a train and was causing a little bit of commotion. I would say not recently, but a few years back, whenever that time was, I would have said something like, yo, motherfucker, like, you know what I mean? Like I would have said something and then that would have went left because they would have said something
You
too.
just don't know.
Right. You know what I
just
mean?
don't know.
Because it's not a one-way conversation. I would have said something to them. They would have said something to me,
Yeah.
and it was three of them.
Yeah.
Right. So that's minor. That happened today. But in general,
That's actually big. I don't even see it as minor, and I guess that's
Okay.
also part of my growth.
okay.
That's a big deal because that could have been a life-changing.
Yeah.
People could have been in prison for life
Right.
type.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
you never
saying?
know. Yeah,
that type
exactly.
of thing. So, can we talk a little bit about your businesses?
Sure. Wow, it's a lot. But so I'm a fashion and tech entrepreneur. I have a fashion company, clothing line called BB&YC. But I just started I actually just launched before today, recently, like maybe 2-3 days ago, a marketplace called bfashionstore.com. So the funny story about that is my clothing line was supposed to be a marketplace. It was originally supposed to be bbrilliant.com, a marketplace, not a clothing line. What happened was, first of all, I lost the domain name, so I had to get bbrilliantnyc.com. Okay, that was the first part. And then I do have a marketing promotion background, so one of the things that I said was, I'm not going to pass out flyers to promote the site. I'm going to pass out T-shirts. It's a clothing line, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm not a clothing line. It's a clothing store, right?
Right.
So I said, I'm going to pass out T-shirts. So the original T-shirts that I passed out was just the logo. That's it.
Okay.
And I was giving them out. I don't know if I told you I worked in the music industry in the past.
Yes.
So one of the producers I used to work with, he wanted to rap. He was doing a video, and he saw a picture of me and my son. They were little kids at the time. Me and my son wearing the same BB&YC shirt, but with it was like aluminum foil, orange and black. He saw it. He was like, yo, I want to buy that. I was like, I'm not selling it. Like, he was like, no, but I really want to buy that. I said, and then he was like, yeah, I'm doing this video. I said, all right, bet. So I sold it to him, PayPal, whatever it was at the time. And then next thing I know, other people kept saying they wanted to buy it too. So I was like, all right. So I was literally, the saying, selling out the trunk. I was literally selling my T-shirts out the trunk at the time. Then it started getting too much. I put it online. I still own bbrilliantnyc.com, but I changed it to shopbbnyc.com, which is the main site now, shopbbnyc.com. Shopbbnyc.com.
Shop,
Anyway.
S-H-O-P.
Yes,
shop.
shopbbnyc.com. So I launched that site and I started making sales, but then the key thing was I started getting my clothes in stores. The funny thing is the first store that I got into was Jerry Sportswear on Flatbush, closer to Church Ave. And I remember going out to other stores and they're like, nah, you need like jeans, you need sweatsuits, I was like, all right. So I made jeans, I made sweatsuits and all the other things. And then I heard about this, actually I've been knew about it from when I was in the music industry, but this thing called, it's a trade show called Magic, the Magic Trade Show. You remember that, right? Yeah. So we went out to Vegas. I caught a whole bunch of sales, but this is right before pandemic. So although I got the sales, the freaking pandemic hit. God damn.
It's like everybody in the world is mad at the same thing.
Yes.
It's like a global collective.
It's insane. It's like I made all these sales. I got a lot of store sales in the Midwest and the South. So the funny thing is, so the advantage, so most of the stores that I got were black owned. I wear all my clothes. So what happened is a lot of these black owned stores, there was some white ones too, but a lot of these black owned stores, they were like, yo, this looks good on you. Remember, I'm mad big and tall. They like, yo, do you carry up to 6X? I'm like, yeah, I carry up to 6X, which I did at the time.
6X?
I was 3X, but I
didn't
carried
even
up
know
to
6X
6X.
existed.
That's the thing. Well, I mean, there's big people. There's really big people. You got me
my
inclusive.
apologies.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
So that was the number one thing for me. And mind you, when I went to Magic, I didn't have no plan, no nothing. I just went there and I still sold. But then the freaking pandemic hit. So only like one of the stores kept my stuff. And the other people, they just canceled it. Actually, no, two stores. Sorry, I forgot this other lady, Pat. She kept her order. So she bought a bunch of hoodies.
Shout out to Pat.
Yes, Pat.
Shout out to Pat. So how does your health affect your businesses?
Now or, well.
How did it?
You know what's funny? I don't know if you knew this, but when I was there, I didn't have prescription glasses at the time. I couldn't read the orders.
You couldn't read
Dead
your
ass.
orders.
I don't think I told you that. I couldn't read the orders. My assistant at the time, Claudine, was there. She had to read the. I couldn't read the orders. Matter of fact, I think it was these glasses.
That's a
they were
very
not
direct way
Yo.
that it affected your business.
Yeah, I could not read the orders. It was like.
Is your vision different now?
Yeah. It's different even without the glasses. I can see. It's a little blurry now, but I can see. But I can see with the glasses. Prescription.
Okay. You are of Caribbean descent.
Oui. Sac passe haïtien. I hope y'all mind. I take this jacket off. I'm a little hot.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
This is a BNYC exclusive. It's on bfashionstore.com. Check it out.
Okay.
New York City.
New York. All right.
I was supposed to touch the mic. I apologize.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's something that we talk about all the time. Everybody talk about Caribbean men of Caribbean descent and their 6-7 jobs.
I do have a day job, by the way.
Did you feel compelled? Did you feel any type of pressure? Did you feel like you needed to do multiple things?
Nah, you know what it is. I always believe in multiple streams of income. I don't really want to work. I don't want a day job. Like I have a day job now because of like a little bit of the pandemic. But in 2022, folks may not know, but in 2022, the tech world shut down. There was a lot of layoffs in the tech world. One of my biggest accounts was Amazon, and they stopped hiring. Right, so I had to go back to work. I was driving Lyft for a hot second. And then I got this job that I'm at now, which is a New York City government job, which is kind of, first of all, it's hard to get in, and you kind of don't want to leave because of retirement and all the other stuff. So I'm trying to maintain that and everything else. But obviously, if I get to a certain number, I'm out. Like whatever's whatever. But yeah, I just believe in multiple streams of income. I can care less about a job. I don't want a job.
So that doesn't have anything to do with Sac Passe.
No, I think that's just more financial literacy. I think.
Okay.
I don't think that's,
But I also feel like in today's the way things are set up today, it does feel very necessary as well. It feels very necessary that you have multiple streams. It can be a security risk to just have one job.
Yeah.
You just never know. One
job, one income. It's not a good look. You got to have multiple streams of income. And the key thing, I'm not there yet, but the key thing is to make money in your sleep. If you can make money 24/7, whether that's usually e-commerce. But
well, if people are ordering from your site, At 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm one of those
But it
people.
would be
I'll be up at 3 o'clock in the morning, looking at my
that
phone
too.
like this, just
Yeah.
ordering stuff.
Yeah.
How are you? What do you think your sons are learned from watching you go from, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
crisis in my body, oh my goodness, I don't know if they ever heard you say that you feel like death is right there,
No, they haven't heard that, but
but they've seen you go into a dark space on some level.
possibly. And if they've seen it, they haven't expressed it to me, and I don't recall.
Yeah.
But I do know that I do keep the family. When I say the family, my wife and my 2 kids, I keep them abreast about what's going on with my health. Usually good, not not necessarily bad. I usually give them the good news. My wife directly, good or bad. But they have seen. They've seen the change, right?
Yeah.
So like when they came to the New York City half, when I ran that was the first time my son who's in college saw me in a few months and was like, whoa. He didn't express it.
Yeah.
You know, teenage. Right? He didn't express it. I actually found out months later from my wife that they were having a conversation. She was like, yeah, my big dad not big no more. And I was like, oh, word? He said that? That's pretty cool.
He's bigger now.
Yeah, well. Oh, height-wise?
Energetically.
I
Influentially.
guess.
Is influentially a word? Yeah.
I guess. But
But-
my younger son definitely expressed it. He definitely expressed it. When I say expressed it, like, you know, told me, Dad, you look good, man. You running. You lost a lot of weight. Because him and I actually, a while ago, said we were going to meet in the middle. He's been trying to bulk up, and I've been trying to go down. And I said, Luke, I'm coming down, bro. What's up? Like, because we're trying to both meet at 2. He's not going to get to 225 until college, but we're both trying to get to 225.
Wow, okay.
So I'm like at 239. I'm going to say that because it's 1 under 4. 240.
Are you winning?
At this point, yeah, because he's not
Yeah,
really moving.
yeah.
Like, he's 160 something.
Okay.
You know, he'll be 175.
He probably has to work harder than you.
To go
get-
up,
yeah,
of course. Yeah, he got to eat. He got to work
Yeah.
out crazy and not lose the weight. Like, because he does everything. And now he's playing football again. So he's
Is
doing
there
football,
anything that you
basketball,
had to
baseball.
remove from your diet completely? Like, no more. No.
Oh, so I have a dairy allergy, and
But that's
I
not
should've-
because of diabetes.
No, who knows? Right? Who knows? I should have been removed it. So I removed that, but that's not because of, like you said, it's not because of diabetes. It's just more or less I need to eat clean.
Okay.
So I try not to eat as much dairy as possible. It still happens, but whatever. Not as much.
Well, fun fact. We all come into the world and we latch on to our mothers and have her breast milk because the DNA is divinely constructed for our bodies. We're humans. We're not supposed to drink cow's milk.
Of course not.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I keep apologizing. But I think it's so beautiful that your sons can look at you and see an example and see that, and it doesn't have to be health. It doesn't have to be physical. It could be any type of pivot, any type of shift, any type of transformation. Being able to have your kids look at you and see that you do something so phenomenal, I think that's really, really important. Because you can say all day, don't do this, no, this, that. But actually doing and being, have you seen how that impacted them? Other than the bragging, has there been any change in their demeanor, how they operate? Maybe, because I even see how my son, he's about to go to high school and he has a moving up ceremony coming up. And I asked him, what do you want to eat? I'll cook for you. He's super excited that I'm going to cook. His menu, he was like, yeah, we can put a salad on there. And it stands out to me that he says salad. I'm like, oh, okay. This is definitely something that is rubbing off from me. Do you see that?
Maybe. I'm probably not paying attention as much, but maybe. The things that I can see is growth in my older son's conversations. But that's probably him, though. whether or not it's coming from me or not, that might just be a him thing. That's why I said maybe, because I'm not 100% sure with that. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Because I feel like they have their own things, but, you know, there could be some influences there for me, but I'm not 100% sure. So.
Okay, so we are coming to the close of this segment.
Okay.
And I want to personally congratulate you.
Thank you.
Because this is something that I saw my grandmother go through and ended up contributing to her demise. And millions of other people feel like this is it, this is the end. Mm-hmm. Do you have any words of encouragement for people who are in the thick of it and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm having a crisis, this is crazy? One thing that I've learned about diseases is the way we've been programmed to look at them. They're not as big as we think they are. They're not as detrimental as we've been told that they are.
Yeah,
Position.
so earlier I think I mentioned, or maybe you mentioned, but as far as being positive, there was this, it was a book. Actually, I have the book now, but I used to watch this video, like, I swear to you, if you check my records, it's probably 1,000,000 times, called The Secret. It used to be on Netflix. I watched it, like, every day, all day. There's a scene in there where it was a lady, she had cancer, and she reversed that too. But I think that's a thing. That's like a normal thing, right? You get radiation, blah, blah, blah. But it was her mindset. Right? It was all about her mindset and the way she thought about it. There was another scene where a guy freaking crashed in the plane and couldn't walk. They said, oh, you're never going to walk again. He was like, nah, bro, I'm going to walk. Like, you know what I'm saying? He walked. So it's really a positive mindset, but also being disciplined and consistent on what you're doing. And, you know,
Belief.
I can go on and on about health and eating right and all these other things and exercising. I mean, that's a thing. You need to do that. But it's really the mindset and being positive about life, right? And having your why. And, you know, like for me, like it's my wife and my kids all day. You know what I mean? Like there's everything else but my wife and my kids. I think about them a lot. And they're my numero uno reason to live, period. So have a reason, have a why, and stay disciplined and stay consistent.
Wow, amazing! Everything starts with your thoughts and your beliefs. Beautiful, thank you. So we are about to jump into another segment. Did you know? And this question is for our listeners and viewers. Did you know that according to the American Heart Association and the CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly 1 in 2 black adults in America, 1 in 2 is 50%. That's half. 1 in 2 black adults in America have some form of heart disease, diabetes, or both. I'm just going to let that sink in. That's almost everybody. 50% seems like it's just half. That's too many people. And one of the biggest issues with that is that we think that these things are too big, like they're bigger than us, and we have to live with them, and we have to be subjected to meds and drugs. And if we don't take the drugs, or we don't have to change our lifestyles, that what they're telling you on that little piece of prescription paper, that's your life sentence. It's not true. We have somebody sitting right here who's living proof, who has receipts that he's had a diagnosis and he no longer has type 2 diabetes. You don't have to own it. You don't have to live with it. It's something that you can release. You mentioned that it took you 5 years, and 5 years can sound daunting, but I feel like 5 years to do something is way better than your kids and your spouse and your friends and your family not having you.
I could have not done anything in 5 years. I'd have been done.
Period. Period. All right. Okay. So I have a question. Do you believe this is for the audience? Don't feel no type of way, JC. This is for the audience, and I would love for you guys to respond, talk with Nola at Gmail. You can email me or you can DM me on social media, talk with Nola at Gmail. Do you believe that most men fear physical illness or emotional vulnerability more? What is it that you think they fear more, physical illness or emotional vulnerability?
I can answer that.
You can go for it if you want to answer.
Emotional vulnerability. Bingo. Sick? What's sick? I'm good.
I still want y'all's answers because I think I know too. But anyway, we are about to jump into our next segment. Okay, so this is the SOA Q&A where our producer, Shot of Adrenaline, will ask us questions, mostly introspective, that we have to answer. Are you ready?
Almost, but yeah, go for it.
All right, let's go. What's a green flag that I would see in someone that makes me and excited? Makes me feel safe and excited. That's such a strong question because safety is a big issue for me, and it takes a lot for me to get excited, but I don't think this is a really fun answer. A lot of times that safety comes from me. I have to decide that I'm safe. And what makes me excited? Knowing that I can actually talk to people. I'm a talker. I love to talk. So being able to talk to people and not rely on what it is that they have or what it is that they can offer, that's really exciting for me. Just being able to have dope conversations. But yeah, a lot of times the safety comes from me. You could be whoever you want to be. I can make myself safe. You can try. You can try whatever you think you want to try.
If my life had one theme song, what would it be? It's funny. All right, so right now, let's do present day. Mr. Killer, Run With It. Is it Mr. Killer? Yes, Mr. Killer.
Is that a new
Run.
or old song?
It's old. It's like at least, it's a few years old, but I use it a lot because I'm always running right now.
Okay.
So,
how does it go? Because I don't know it.
You want to sing it in the background for me?
No, the mic is not going to pick her up. It's you. How's it go?
Okay. Run with it. Run with it. That's it.
No, never heard it. Never heard it. Sorry.
You don't follow me on IG, that's why. Boom.
You're not giving enough of the song. You're telling a part of
Where's
this.
my phone?
Run with it.
That's literally the song.
Okay.
That's literally
the
song.
entire song?
I mean, I can't tell you the lyric. Like he says, pick up something in it. Pick up something, anything, and just run with it. Run. It's a soca song.
Oh, that's why. That's
yeah. Well,
okay.
I should have played the beat, but yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's actually my theme music right now.
What's a belief that I held 10 years ago that I no longer have? How old am I now? Ten years ago, I believed that some things you have to throw hands.
I think.
10 years ago, I believed that you had to put your hands on people to get things working. And
wow.
Yeah.
That's tough.
It's motivation, but today.
Like 12, 10 years ago? How?
Yes, that was 12, Jesus. 10 years ago. Thanks.
6th grade. Putting hands on people.
Thank you. But obviously, no. I have Emotional intelligence. I have words. I have vocabulary. I have influence in different ways. I don't have to be aggressive to get things done in the world anymore. Sorry, grocery store lady.
If I got to see myself in another multiverse, I would probably be 5 or 10 years ahead of where I'm at right now, which would be a multi-billionaire. Bong. Bing bong.
In 5 years, you're going to be a multi-billionaire?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm so happy to know you.
Absolutely.
I can tell people, my friend is a billionaire.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, I have to follow you on IG now. Sorry, I don't follow you. Sorry.
At Mr. Brilliant. Brillant. Brillant.
First of all, let's get it straight. I follow you because I send you memes that's
true.
funny. Thank you.
That's true. That's
All
funny
right.
you had to say that's funny.
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
All right, so we are about to jump into our next segment. Okay, so today's happy habit. A happy habit is something that you either do daily or you do periodically that brings you joy. What's something that you do that brings you joy? What's your happy habit?
I'm sorry, I'm going to keep talking about this, but running. Like, I enjoy running now. It's weird, but I don't know if it's weird, but I really enjoy it. I really, really do. And
Good.
I know I'm running more now, but back when I kind of sort of started running, I remember saying I used to run Prospect Park, and I actually enjoyed it. I couldn't do it the way I do now. Like, I was like, mad tired. But even then, I really enjoyed the peace, being alone, thinking a lot. It brings a lot of joy to me.
Awesome. So I find that a lot of people feel like super extravagant things have to happen for them to say that they're happy. And it's really just tapping into small things daily that you do. So you can go running.
Yeah.
That can bring you joy.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, so where can people find you? Your website,
So
socials?
I'm just going to direct people to befashionstore.com. That's my new marketplace for clothing line, for fashion and accessories, actually.
Is it BE or just the letter B?
No, just the letter B, fashionstore.com. It's a new marketplace for exclusive fashion, clothing, and accessories.
And socials?
At Mr. Brillant, Brillant. It's a French spelling. So again, that's at Mr. Brillant.
MR?
MR, yeah, sorry. Yeah, MR.
Beautiful.
Brillant. That's my IG.
I'm so grateful that you came
Thank you.
to share this story.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
And you were vulnerable and transparent and brave. There's somebody whose life you just saved.
I pray so. Yeah,
no, we don't have to pray for it. It just happened.
Okay.
There's somebody who heard something and they're passing this information to somebody and somebody's passing and passing and passing.
Wow.
And this information is infinite. And it's so powerful. I know for a fact that what we're doing here is going to echo into oblivion.
Wow.
We don't know how many people we're going to affect, but we are.
Okay.
And I appreciate you for doing that.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And thank you all for tuning in and listening and watching.
Thank you for tuning in to the Nola Experience podcast. Created and hosted by Nola, produced by TkActn Media, theme song by Mr. Melee, sponsored by The Hills Restaurant, Brooklyn, New York. Listen to us on all podcast platforms and follow us on social media at the Nola Experience Podcast. Visit thenolaroexperiencepodcast.com and connect with us via email at talkwithnola@gmail.com.